And we are about to go racing as the drivers round the final corner. We're about to see the green light. The lights go green and EKS is underway in lightweight split 3. And I'm just about to get the update on who's in what position, but just saw that Josh Wynn was under threat from losing second place to third on the grid, but just hung it round the outside, and they all make it safely through turn 3 so far. And yes, no casualties as of yet, but there's yet more contact between Josh Wynn and the driver in third, but Josh seems to have hung it round the outside, sticks his nose back down the inside for turn 5, and maintains second place, but it seems the top 4 have just eased away from 5th place slightly as we get into these little battles. And right at the back of the pack there, more intense fighting, looks like 2 wide, 2 by 2 almost. And it seems that Rhys Barker from pole position has maintained the lead, but Josh Wynn has been dispossessed of second place. He is now in third with the top 4, easing away from 5th. And Rhys Barker from pole position easing away from second place. He's doing to second, third and 4th, or second, third and 4th are doing to 5th, 6th and 7th. As we round the final corner now, we're about to see the official positions everybody's in, and we haven't had any too drastic contact yet, but there is some confusion at the last corner at the back of the pack, and it is Rhys Barker leading the way as he hurdles towards turn 3. I turn around, these cars are already at the other side of the track. Rhys Barker from Brandon Barker, Brothers in Racing, Josh Wynn, Libby Woolven, Ryan Nicholas, Hugh Morton, Murray Yeager, Christina Harding, Tom Morton, Lauren Seagrave, Adam Gurgeon, Janae Jones, and just Morgan rounds off your grid. So it is Rhys Barker who leads the way from his brother, Brandon Barker, Josh Wynn, my fellow commentator, Libby Woolven, Ryan Nicholas now. And it seems that Libby Woolven has just been cut off slightly from the top 3 as Brandon looks to hold Josh behind while his brother drives into the distance. So it seems lots of little battles forming all around the grid, but there's a battle for second and third, there's a battle for 5th, 6th and 7th. This is getting quite intense as the car 117 of Ryan Nicholas is forced off the road and he loses 2 positions in 2 corners. As the car 114 of 114, where are they gone? As Ager goes back down the inside of Hugh Morton, and Ryan Nicholas just has to settle in behind momentarily. But it is Rhys Barker with the enormous lead out in front from Brandon Barker, Josh Wynn, then Libby Woolven occupying her own space in 4th place, ahead of 5th place, which I believe at this point is Murray Ager from Hugh Morton, then Ryan Nicholas. And then we have Chrissy Harding, Tom Morton, Lawrence Seagrave, Adam Gudgeon, Janae Jones, and Morgan just off the back of the big mid-pack fighting there from around 8th place to 12th, separated by no more than about a second, coming through the middle sector. But coming into the last sector now, we have Rhys Barker with a commanding lead over now. Josh Wynn has made his way back into second place ahead of Brandon Barker. So the Barker brothers have been separated by my fast-charging commentating friend Josh Wynn. Now he sets off after Rhys Barker. Rhys Barker setting a 57.0. Josh only 1/10 behind, having made that overtake. So he has plenty of pace in that car. He will now hunt down the leader and look to claim first place. And if he does claim first place, that means that I'm locked in for another commentating job because he'll get promoted to split 2. So in 4th place, I've just lost my live timings. This is very frustrating, whereas my live timing's gone. But 4th place has been separated. I believe that's Libby Woolven has been separated from Brandon in 3rd, and then back in 5th it's Ager. Has just started to ease away from 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, all the way down to 13, basically line astern there. And some drivers have started to do bridge gaps away from each other, but there's certainly a massive fight going on from about 6th place all the way down to 12th. But I've lost my live timing, so I don't know where anybody is. Where is it? Can somebody message downstairs and make sure that I can get that television working again? Otherwise I have no idea where everybody is. But no, it is Rhys Barker leading the way from Josh Wynn, and then Brandon Barker, and then Libby Woolven in 4th. They have now made an enormous gap to Ager in 5th before the massive train 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, all the way down to 12th before Morgan in 13th. Just starting to drop off the back of that group just a little bit. He does want to get involved as they go side by side all the way through the field. Battles for 6th and 7th, for 10th and 11th. He starts to close back up again, but no, it's Rhys Barker who leads the way from Josh Wynn. Brandon Barker now starting to close back up to the rear bumper of Josh Wynn. It seems that these two have fairly similar pace, and it really just depends who's following the other for who has the most pace. But if I could see the lap times, it would be very nice to see the lap times, then I would be able to tell who is currently the favourite to win this. But no, third place, Brandon Barker falling back slightly from Josh Wynn, but pulling away critically from Libby Woolven in fourth, and then Ager in fifth. Just has an even more of a gap to bridge to get up to the back of P4. The top four really have rocked away at the front. They're having it their own way. They're controlling this race. I would desperately love to have my tyres back. Can somebody go downstairs and make sure that's working? It's television. I can't see who's on the thing. I'm trying to commentate. I can't see who's on the live timings. That was our live timing screen. We can't see it. Cool down lightweight split 2. Am I on the tannoy? Can we have drivers for lightweight split 2 in the pit lane, please? They need to get ready. But I need that television working, otherwise I can't see. Sorry, thank you. Right. So still, Rhys Barker leading the way from Josh Wynn, leading the way from Brandon Barker, the two brothers fighting for first and second here. It seems that Josh has separated the two of them and is now looking to set off after the leader, but he isn't making much headway. Libby Woolven still in fourth. Basically, he's having quite a lonely race from here. He doesn't quite have the pace to get onto the back of P3, but has more than enough pace to ease away from Ager in P5, as now the battle for 6th, 7th and 8th has kind of gotten away from the battle for 9th, 10th and 11th and 12th, and Morgan still there in 13th, starting to drop off the back of the pack. He's going to want to pick that pace up if he wants to pick up the scraps of any sort of fights that may occur throughout the field. But no, the gap between Rhys and Josh seems to be stabilising, but Brandon is all over the back of Josh. That gap is also stabilising, but is much, much closer, enough to make Josh look over his shoulder as they hurtle down towards turn 3 now. They both make it through safely, easing on the brakes, turn the kart in, be patient. That apex takes about 100 years to meet. But no, they hurtle now round into turn 5. Let the bumps carry you around. Don't try and fight them or you'll lose your grip. Heading into turn 6, a deceptively tight corner. They need to nail this. It's a good exit before you head down the hill into turn 7. Similar sort of left-hander, easy to lose the rear. They both kind of let it slip, but it seems Brandon's the safest through there. Slight lift into the right-hander before heading into the final sector. It looks like it's been drawn with a stencil. So it is Rhys Barker leading the way from Josh Wynn. Now just a little lift and get it over to the left-hand side to brake nicely and gently for the final corner. We don't want to lock up, we don't want to lose the rear, and it seems that Brandon has had the best run through there from Josh Wynn. He has closed up significantly as they head through turn 1, and they fly up to 70 miles an hour before navigating turn 3. It is Brandon who's putting the most pressure on Josh out there, as Rhys is really having it his own way out in front, isn't he? Riding the curb on the exit before throwing it into turn 5. The left-hander hugging the apex does seem to be the best way to do it as they enter turn 6. Again, a deceptively tight corner. Important to nail this apex and nail that exit before you head down the hill towards turn 7. And yes, it seems Brandon is closing up under braking. He seems to be the tidier of the two of them through the mid-apex. And now heading into the final sector, it seems Brandon is attacking these corners with just a little bit more confidence. And he is reaping the benefits in terms of lap time. But no, Josh very confident into the final sector, easy on the brakes, chucking it in, getting a good exit. But now, who has the power as we head down towards turn 1 and hurtle down towards turn 3 at nearly 70 miles an hour? 3 minutes remain in this race, and I just think that Rhys Barker might be starting to think of the victory champagne just a little bit. I think he has a gap of around 1.5, maybe even 2 seconds to Josh Wynn. All he needs to do is manage that gap, make sure he gets it over the line as Rhys enters turn 5. 5th place of Ager is only just going through turn 3. That is the pace of the top 3 currently. They have built such a gap that they are on different parts of the circuit to most of the field as Rhys Barker now enters the final sector of the track. Again, the bit of the track looks like it was drawn with a stencil. I'll say it again because I think it's quite funny. But the rest of the mid-pack is still fighting harshly as the battle for 6th place rages on. 4 cars separated by less than a second, as it seems that 7th place sticks his nose down the inside of 6th. I have no idea who these drivers are because I don't have my live timings, but it seems a bit of aggravation there. Hands being raised, unhappy with the driving standards as they head into the final sector. Kart 118 ahead of 102, making the move. Closing up under brakes to the Kart 119. it all gets a little bit too close for comfort as the car's concertina up, and there's a 108, the number 118 gets a 30-second penalty. That is a bump and pass penalty with no return. If you allow the driver to go back in front, you only lose 1 point. It's only a bumping warning, but if you make contact and use that to get ahead and then do not return the position, that is a 30-second time penalty. Believe me, you do not want one of those, unless for some reason you're weird, you can make that back. But no, the battles rage on as Rhys Barker is another lap closer to victory. Josh Wynn just managing that gap to Brandon very well, and the top three are miles out in front. It really is the battle for sixth that I'm focused on now as the drivers head through the final sectors of this lap. P8 there looking to shape up a move on P7, thinks better of it as they head into the final corners. They want it to be easy now. Make sure you don't go straight into the back of your opponent. They nearly do. And now the battle for 10th, 11th, 12th rages on behind them, but no contact being made just yet. We are approaching the final lap of this race, and we don't want things to get too heated before anybody makes any contact that will lose them any positions after the race is over. We do not want that in the closing moments. That would not be great for your race or your afternoon. So no, Rhys Barker. Now, I believe we are about to enter the last lap. Yes, we are. He has a gap of around 1.5 seconds to Josh Wynn, and the same again to Rhys's brother, Brandon. And it seems that Libby in fourth place, just having a bit of a lonely race, really, as the drone follows him down towards turn one. The gap ahead is immense. The gap behind is even more immense. But you know what? Put in the lap times, practice a little bit, wait for better machinery later on in the afternoon, and maybe we can see that driver pounce. As now we see 6th, 7th, and 8th place. That battle has died down a little bit on the last lap. These drivers may be a little bit too far apart to be making any sort of wild lunges into the final corners as we saw in the juniors. But no, Rhys Barker commanding performance. Josh Wynn had second place taken away from him, but he fought back for it. And Brandon is going to have to settle for third there after a good drive. Looked at moments like he was going to pose some sort of threat to Josh Wynn, but no. It seems that the first, second, and third are going to be as they were as they round the final corner. Rhys Barker is your winner for the lightweight split 3 from Josh Wynn, from his brother Brandon Barker. Two twins, first and third. Not the first 1-2 they would have wanted, but as Libby crosses the line for fourth, Ager in fifth. I still do not have my live timing back. This is very frustrating. With 6 across the line, 119. Chrissy finishes in 7th place, pumping the air. She's happy with that result. And now the rest of the drivers round off the grid. Morgan, unable to get onto the back of those drivers, unfortunately, finishes in 13th.